Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Belamo and I'm a YouTuber based in Abuja, Nigeria. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about 20 basic tools for beginners. Yeah. So this video is going to be for bakers that are just starting up, or anyone that would like to start baking as a business. If you want to start up as a home baker, this video is definitely for you. So if you like to see and hear these basic tools for beginners, please sit back and enjoy. My number one is going to be an oven. Yes, I will be dropping some pictures on the screen so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. An oven is in fact is the most important, because for you to get a cake baked, you obviously need an oven. I am using the usual 4-burner cooker with oven attachments. Yeah, that's what I'm using at home at the moment. So my number two will be cake pans. Yes, you obviously need cake pans because that's where you'll be pouring in your cake batter to bake. So cake pans in different sizes. You can start up with one of each sizes. For example, 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches. Yeah, so talking about cake pans, my number three will be the cupcake tray. Yeah, you also need the cupcake trays for baking cupcakes or muffins or whatever you call it. So like I said, I'll be leaving pictures on the screen for you guys to see what I'm talking about. So my number three would be a mixer. This is not overrated. You will definitely need a mixer. If you can afford a stand mixer, please go ahead. If you cannot, you can start with a hand mixer. I mean, a hand mixer is the one you hold and it mixes, while a stand mixer stands on its own. The bowl rotates on its own and mixes on its own. Okay, so that's just the advantage that's just the advantage the hand mixer or the stand mixer has over the hand mixer. But as a startup, you can start with the hand mixer. I also started with the hand mixer. I mean, and over the years I used it so much that it's got tired and spoiled on the way, so I had to look for another means. So I was able to get a stand mixer, and yeah, so you can start up. If you have enough money, you can invest in a stand mixer, but if you do not, please, a hand mixer can as well do the work for you. Okay, so my number four will be cake boards. Yes, obviously when you bake your cakes, you need a cake board. You need to put it on a cake board for decoration purpose. Okay, yeah, because that is how you will be what's the word now, that's how you're going to deliver the cake to your customers. You bake it. When you're decorating, you definitely have to put it on the cake board and decorate and deliver to your customers. So cake board, very necessary. So the next one, my number five, will be the boxes. Yes, packaging is also very important. So after baking, decorating, you put it in a box, close it up, and then you send it out, deliver to your customers. Okay, so my number six will be a cake whisk. Cake whisk, or it's called a balloon whisk because it looks like a balloon. Yeah, so the balloon whisk, very important too. You can use that to mix your dry ingredients so that you can incorporate every dry ingredient in your bowl, or you can also use it to mix your cakes. Yeah, depending on the recipe you're using, you can as well use the balloon whisk. So it's very important to have the balloon whisk. Also, they come in different sizes, so you can invest in the one that's probably the one you can afford at that time, or the one that's you're most comfortable using. Okay, my number 7 will be a turntable. Like I said, concerning decoration, you bake your cake, you place it on the board, and then you use a turntable. For buttercream decoration, you will definitely need a turntable. It saves you the time and the stress. But for fondant, you can do away with it. Like it's not necessary. So if you are going to be decorating in buttercream, please try and invest in a turntable. It will save your time and save lots of stress. Okay, so my number 8 is going to be a tape roll. You will need a tape roll. It is not overrated or underrated or whatever. You will definitely need a tape roll. I mean, tape rolls for fondant, tape rolls for measuring your cake boards, your cake pans. You know, when you go to the market to buy your cake pans and your cake boards, please ensure that you ask them for a tape to measure. If you don't have your own with you, ask them for a tape to measure, because some of them will tell you this is 8 inches, and when you get home and then you finally measure, you might get 7 point something or 6 point something, you know. So to avoid all of that, please ensure that they measure or you measure yourself. You can ask them. Me, I usually ask for the tape. I mean, all the cake pans I go to buy myself, I ask for a tape. I ask for the tape, and then I measure myself to be sure that it is 6 inches or 8 inches or whatever inches of pan I went there to buy. It's correct before I leave. So so the tape rule is very, very essential. You use it to measure your cake pans, your cake boards, your boxes, your fondant. If you're rolling out fondant, you measure it to know the what's it called? To know what you're covering, the space you're going to be covering on your cake. Yeah, so it's very, very essential. Also, my number 9 is going to be piping bags and nozzles. So for cake decoration, especially buttercream decoration, you will need a piping bag and nozzles. You can start up with few nozzle tips for basic decoration. Then as you progress, as you grow in the business, you can then decide to buy more nozzles as you go. I mean, I can count the number of nozzles I have. I don't have so much like that, but I have the basics, like the basic decoration. I have the basic decorating tips, nozzle tips that I need at the moment. If I would need any other design, maybe in the future, I'll get more of other designs. So your piping bags, which you put your buttercream in it to pipe, and then your piping nozzles, and the coupler. Yes, there's this coupler. Ask in the baking store. There's a coupler that you use to couple the nozzle to the piping bag. Yes, to hold it in place so that you know that it's secured before you pipe whatever you're piping on your cake. Okay, so my number 10 will be measuring cups and spoons. Just like I mentioned, tape rule for measuring your pans and your boards and your fondant and all of that. You also need your measuring cups and spoons to measure out your ingredients. Very, very essential. Okay, so the measuring cups and spoons helps you get the accurate measurement of whatever ingredients you're using to bake your cake. Okay, so my number 11 tool, basic tool, will be a sieve. Not underrated, not overrated. It's very essential. You always need to sieve your dry ingredients. I mentioned this in my 10 baking tips for beginners. If you have not watched that video, I will leave the link in the description box. Please go and watch it so that you can bake right. Yes. Okay, guys, I think I mixed up the numbers, but I just checked through now, and right now we're number 14. Okay, so number 14 basic cake tools will be on my list is the spatula or spatulas. Okay, so you need spatulas for covering your cakes, for smoothing your cakes. Yes, you can use it to cover, to scrape out for buttercream decorations. You will need it to scrape out excess what's it called, excess buttercream on your cakes. You can also use your spatulas to cream your cake or to cover your cake in buttercream. Yes, I hope you understand what I mean. Yes, so the spatulas are very, very essential too for buttercream decoration. Yes, like I said earlier, I'm going to be leaving the images on the screen so that you can follow through as I mention these cake tools. Okay, my number 15 will now be the scrapers. So you have the spatulas and then you have the scrapers. The scrapers will help you scrape excess buttercream. Although, if you know how to use the spatula well, it will also be able to help you scrape out any excess buttercream. But the scraper also has another function which you can use to decorate the sides of your cake or the top of your cake, because some of the scrapers come with what's it called, with different designs on the edges. Some scrapers come with different designs on the edges. This enable designs on the sides or on the top of your cake depending on what you're trying to achieve on that particular cake, whatever design you're trying to achieve on particular cake. So there are different types of scrapers. So the function is not only to scrape out excess, you can also use it to design the sides and top of your cake. Okay, so guys, my number 16 would be a rolling pin. Yes, if you're going to be decorating fondant designs, making fondant designs on your cakes, this is very, very essential. Yeah, but if it's buttercream you're going to be focusing on, you will necessarily not need this, except you want to use it for other pastries, baking other pastries and all of that. And they come in different sizes, so you can get the one you can afford at this particular time. You have the small, medium and the large. So my number 17 will be a cake smoothener. This is also for fondant designs. You need a cake smoothener. It's not overrated, it is not underrated, it is very, very essential. So if you're decorating in fondant, cake smoothener is very, very important. Okay, the next cake tool will be a serrated knife or a cake knife. Yes, the knife that we usually call the bread knife is a serrated knife. We use that to level our cakes after baking, for trimming the top of your cake, for trimming the sides of your cake. Yes, so a serrated knife is also an essential baking tool for beginners. Okay, number 19 will be a pizza cutter. Yes, this pizza cutter is also for fondant decoration. Like the name implies, it's a pizza cutter because we use it to cut pizzas. Yes, but in baking we also in cake decoration we also use it to cut fondant or cut, you know, one or two things. I also use it to cut my chin chin when I want to fry chin chin, my meat pie in meat pies and all of that. I use it for pastries and every other thing I want to cut. Number 19 will be a pastry brush. Yes, you need a pastry brush to apply your syrups, your sugar syrups on your cake. Yes, when you're stacking your cake, you can apply sugar syrup on it. Yes, so that is the use of a pastry brush, or you use it for pastries like the name implies. Then number 20, which is the final one, will be a parchment paper. The parchment paper is very, very important to line your cakes to avoid it burning and all of that. Watch the video of baking tips and you understand more about the parchment paper. Okay, so those are the 20 basic cake tools I have for you guys today for beginners or anybody that would like to start this cake business at home as a home baker. Okay, so I'd like to add 2 extra ones. They are not so essential, but I will just add them in case you would like to make them an essential. But for me, they are not essential. Like, it's not compulsory for you to get them now. Okay, that will be mixing bowls. They are useful, yes, you can invest in mixing bowls, but if you're just starting up as a home baker, you can make use of your the bowl that comes with your mixer, and then you can make use of other bowls that you have in the house. I'm sure in your kitchen you will find some bowls around. Yes, you can make use of those ones for now. Then probably in the future when when your business get bigger, you can then invest in more mixing bowls. Okay, the second one will be the measuring scale. I presently do not have a measuring scale. Yes, I do not have a measuring scale. It's important, yes, but you can make do with your measuring cups and spoons. For every recipe I'm baking at the point in time, if it calls for example, if it calls for 250 grams of flour, I use my measuring cups. I just simply convert it to cups, like from grams to cups. So you can do that on Google. Just type in conversion of grams to cups and then you see it. So for 250 grams of flour, if you don't have a measuring scale, it is 2 leveled cups of flour. So you can do your own findings, do your own, findings on Google about how to convert whatever you want to use in grams to cups. So I use cups and spoons for my measuring. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share to your fellow bakers or aspiring bakers out there, family and friends, and please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.